Pax8 Beyond 2025. What an event. Third year they've had it. I've had the great pleasure of being there for all three. This one was the biggest. It was over 3,400 total attendees, 2,400 partner registrations, like over 40 breakouts and over 40 education sessions. It was the entertainment was fantastic. Snoop Dogg came out and performed. It was a really, really great event. Podcast was there, of course. We had a whole podcasters row. I think there was 10 of us. It was fantastic. It was done very, very well. I was able to, me and my team, we conducted 24 interviews, had 24 great conversations there in Denver. Kathleen Lord, lessons from the saddle, grit, growth, and tech insight. Great conversation with Kathleen. Aaron Pederick, yes, coaching cybersecurity and real life comebacks. Fascinating story Aaron has. Shlomi, of course, I've known Shlomi Jan for a little while now. Really, really insightful. Really like talking to Shlomi. Kim Simmons, my goodness, what such energy, such life. I hope to be working more with her and her team. They were gracious enough to invite me to a dinner. It was they've got a great product, smarter. The name of the episode is Creativity Meets Contracts. Colin Britton, of course, Formula One to Intune. Great partner there. Colin, great conversation with Intune with his great platform. Marco LaVecchia, data, purpose, and the MSP playbook. Great conversation with Marco. Rex Frank, my old friend. I've known Rex for, 15, 20 years. He's there at Pax8. Really knowledgeable. Learned some things about him I didn't know during our conversation. Oh my goodness, Lorna Berman. What a delight. What an absolute delight to talk to Lorna and her team riding Malibu and running MSP ops. She's got a horse named Malibu, but great insight, great platform they had there too. Tom Harshbarger. My goodness, I've known Tom since he was at Microsoft about 20 years. Now he's with this great firm, Metallica, misconfigs and mindset. We talk a lot about that. Great conversation with Tom. Lewis, of course, McDonis from Uvilla. Great conversation. I start off with cooking. I like to cook, and he does too. Meatball Mindset and MSP projects. Darren Swan. Great conversation with Darren. I've known Darren for a little while now. Enjoyed talking to him. Opened the conversation with Vinyl, Espresso, and Cyber Trust. Pinar, yes, I love speaking with Pinar. Pickleball, Possums and Proactive Security. Great conversation with Pinar, CEO of that great firm. Tanya, of course, got to know Tanya. We had a great conversation on the phone before we met there and had the conversation in Denver. Tanya Alfonso from Kitchen to Cybersecurity. Damo, I love talking to Damo, of course, from Super Ops. Barbells and AI for MSPs. Great conversation with Demo. Charlie Tomio. I've known Charlie for 15, 20 years now. Great talking. We talk about, phishing and MSP automation, the great Roost platform. Ryan Etteridge, Black Belts and CyberSec. Great conversation with Ryan. Fascinating insight. The martial arts plays on people's lives. Joe Saunders, cigars, securities, and self-reflection. Great conversation with Joe. Rob Ray, been in the community for, I've known him since he was even before Dado, fellow Connecticut resident. Great talking to Rob. He's doing great things there as vice president there at Pax8. Drew Schlessel, of course, great talking about their Wasabi platform. We actually became a partner as well. The platform is so good. Chance Weaver, AI adoption. He's there at Pax8 talking about his great story and how he got there, but he's working on AI adoption at Pax8. Christopher Marquez. I've had the good pleasure of knowing Christopher for a little while now. We talk about Chile, coaching and cyber threats. Really great insight from Christopher. Chris Day, been in the, my goodness, I've known him since, from IT Glue all the way where he is now at ScalePad. Been in the system for a long, been in the channel, the community for a long time. Gene Kim, Surfboard, security, and staying operational. Enjoyed talking to Gene. I had the chance to meet him at Secure, ConnectWise Secure. And lastly, Ken Tripp, Microsoft Copilot and compliance. Great conversations there at Pax8 Beyond 2025. Incredible event. Can't wait to see what they come up with next. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because I was working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others. How long have you been surfing?
Ooh, since I was a child.
Really?
Yeah. So, a few times when I was like 13, 14 years old, and then got much more into it over the last 10 years, I'd say.
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection, powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza Dash MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer, all powered by the Forza Dash platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow. So you didn't catch the bug then?
I did, and I was a regular beachgoer, but I didn't really go surfing as much. So,
Describe the culture. Describe what it's like to surf.
are we being recorded now?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's very laid back, and my regular surf break is down in San Onofre State Beach. So it's a place called Old Man's. Fits my profile.
Come on.
So the break is a little bit slower, a little bit easier, just
see.
south of world famous Trestles, so one of the best surf spots in the world.
Wow.
And everyone's really friendly. Of course, you're going to have those guys that are going to paddle for every single wave and, don't care if, you've been patient and waiting your turn. It's really more of a, pure athletic meritocracy, if it were.
Really?
Right? So, that occurs and can be frustrating, especially if you're old and out of shape like I am. But, that's why you try to get better.
Yeah.
Right?
You wear a wetsuit?
Sometimes. Most of the time during the winter, and then in the summer, just a rash guard.
What's that, a rash guard?
Oh, something to wear over your chest so that you don't get the wax kind of scratching your chest and your belly.
I see. And so you're still doing it now. When's the last time you surfed?
Probably about 2 months ago. I don't get to surf as much as I would like. Some of it is just, other hobbies. It's like, as my wife likes to say, I have way too many hobbies and not enough time. But it is one of those things that you truly, once you experience it, you never forget
That's
it.
what everybody
And
says.
it's, one of those things that get one with nature. Between sets, there's a lot of time to think about life, business, relationships, what you want to do, and, whether you're happy or not, and what's going to make you happy, and just a lot of introspection, which I really like.
And you're off the grid. You don't have the phone with you.
I can't say that.
Really?
I can't say that because, half phone will travel, right?
You bring it with you. Wow.
I do because the throughout my life have been fairly, well, yeah, kind of a tabulator, right? Very metrics oriented.
I see.
You want to know how many waves I caught, right? And there are these apps now that capture
Really?
how many waves you caught, how long the wave was, how long you rode the wave for. So
Wow.
that's always fun to watch.
Wow.
And to see, I caught this many waves and that sort of thing. And then you can also like locate where you surfed, right? So whether it's down in Mexico or other parts unknown that you'd like to go to, it's a cool way to keep track of those things.
Yeah, I'd love to try, but like you said, I'm afraid to try these kinds of things because then I'll love it and I'll spend too much time on it.
That's the trouble, right? That's the trouble. So, and then you're like, hey, if you're trying everything, are you going to be really good at anything?
Right.
But you have little spurts, right? Just like you probably have, you rotate friend groups, if it were, right? Sometimes you get along great with a certain group of friends, and then maybe there's some sort of little argument or whatever it is, and then you say, hey, I need to step back,
Right.
and then I'll just go with another group for a little bit of, and then you come back, and everything's good. So, it's one of those things.
So we're here at Pax8 Beyond in Denver 2025. This event has got incredibly big. What are some of your goals this week?
Well, really, as the VP of Sales for the Managed Service Provider Program at Absolute, one of the biggest challenges that we have is brand awareness, right? People don't know who we are. As an organization, we've been in this world, formerly as CompuTrace, now as Absolute Security, for the better part of 35 years.
Wow.
And we have a long history in enterprise security. And unfortunately, we hadn't made that step down into the small to medium enterprise and small to medium market, business space. Our tools are enterprise class strength, and we're bringing these tools to enable, our partners to service their end customers, which in today's, very risky cybersecurity threat landscape, everyone needs, right? And so bringing these tools down to the lower end of the market, I think is great for us, and more importantly, great for our partners and customers.
What is it about, what's your experience with MSPs? What is it about?
So way back when, I'm going to date myself, before there was a thing called a managed service provider, it was called business process outsourcing, right? And so you would deliver services, and the big Indian companies were known for that. And, and for a lot of organizations, especially the largest corporations, they had these shared service models, right? Where they might have an IT organization servicing multiple business units. And then over the course of time, these organizations branched out into standalone business units, and great people left the organizations and started their own companies servicing smaller businesses. So in the BPO kind of managed service space, better part of 24 years.
Wow.
I've been where these partners have been, right? So I was the owner and a partner in a IT reseller, service provider business.
Wow.
We grew that from really nothing, just a couple of 100,000 in sales, to a global organization with operations in 5 countries, and exited successfully in a horrible time, 2009, right before the financial crisis. With private equity. So I know what partners go through. I know what it means to invest your profits, spend your diaper money back into the business, not take a paycheck in order to make sure that the families of your employees are provided for. So I know how important it is in the choices that they make from a technology perspective to partner with the right organization, to partner with a company that is going to be there for them, has the right support mechanisms, and has the right, processes to help them build their businesses.
So when MSPs are looking for a security partner, vendor, what questions should they be asking?
Well, first and foremost, I think they should be looking to see if it is going to be a value to their end customer, right? Is the product going to be something that is, one, that customers need? 2, is it easily deployable? Is it easily serviceable? Are there good margins associated with that? Are the attach rates in terms of services going to be high for them? And I think in today's day and age, especially in the SaaS model, there's much less service because the software providers are providing that. And so there has to be a low cost component of that where the value-added services that they're adding from a service provider perspective in its entirety makes business sense, right? And then, of course, the after support, right? How they're going to be supported when, inevitably things go wrong. How responsive are we going to be, right? How are we going to back up our partners so that they can do what they need to do to fulfill their service levels with their customers?
What is it about the MSP community you like most, Gene?
Well, I like that it is a community.
Yeah.
I like that it's tight-knit. I really like that the reputation that you sow with one influential MSP or a group of influential MSPs can propagate throughout the community.
Certainly can.
I think, but more importantly, what I like is the impact that it makes on businesses. All of those organizations that don't have IT as within their DNA or have the resources to provide good protections for their customer, for their businesses, and the ability for MSPs to reach them, right? To offer the same level of service, because in this very, global environment now, from a business perspective, everyone needs the same level of protection and service from an IT perspective to be competitive, right? So that small beauty supply shop isn't just competing with the local group. Now they're competing with Amazon.
Right.
They're competing with, sellers all over the world. Their systems need to be up and running just like everyone else's do, right? If their, internet site or their devices crash, they need to be able to get back online quickly, just like the big boys do.
Sure
So
do.
I really like that we're making an impact both in small and large organizations and help those businesses be resilient in their capabilities to stay in business.
Hey, Joey Pinz here. Want to take your podcast experience to the next level? I'm excited to invite you to become a YouTube member. It's the absolute best way to support the channel and enhance your connection. Join our amazing community and unlock the incredible perks, custom loyalty badges, exclusive emojis, and priority comment replies. Your voice will always stand out. Be the first to watch new videos with early access, receive special membership shoutouts, and get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and updates. Dive into content available only to our members, special videos, deep dives, and insider perspectives. Engage directly with me. Suggest podcast topics you want to hear, and even get personalized video shoutouts. Hit the join button right now and become part of something special. Let's build this amazing community together. I can't wait to welcome you as a new member. Join the Joey Pinz family today. Yeah, it's really, really important. So I'm a former MSP, Gene, and I talk to MSPs daily, and three things that keep them up at night has been pretty consistent the last 5 or 6 years. First, being security. If their clients get attacked, how are they going to help them? They're going to allocate resources, their flat rate. They're probably going to be fired. They probably might be even sued. They're worried about it. Two will be human capital. If their techs leave, how are they going to replace them? How are they going to get new ones there? And third, generally they're tech-led. They're not good at some of the softer skills like sales and marketing. PE has poured hundreds of millions of thousands into the community. Their friends are selling their MSPs. How are they going to grow to help, to be bigger and possibly more saleable? It seems like Absolute can help in all three.
Yeah, I think that we come to the table occupying a place where there's a lot of blue ocean, like specifically around our application persistence capabilities and our resilience capabilities that we offer. So, the ability to ensure that critical applications like the RMM, that is the heart and soul, along with the PSA, for service providers, make sure that those agents are up and running. Make sure that the MSPs can deliver the services that they need to deliver in order to fulfill the services to the customer. But also, and as important, because of our enterprise resilience, features within our tool, the ability to bring them back from the brink of catastrophic failure, to be able to repair the blue screen of death when it occurs, and get them back operational in a mere hours versus days or weeks, is something that no one else in the market can do because of our hardware partnerships. Over 28 hardware manufacturers,
Wow.
over 600 million devices already have our capabilities embedded within the BIOS.
Wow.
And that creates this manageability that no one else in the market has. And so I think that managed service providers not only need to ensure that their core tools are up and running with our application persistence capabilities, but as you mentioned, their security tools, that stack needs to be up and running, right? You have to make sure that the EDRs, the virus protection, the encryption tools are all operational, and our application persistence capabilities ensure that those tools, those core security tools, are up and running, right? Because we're going to be hardware enabled, we can't be disabled, and we're going to ensure that those applications are healed and running at 100%.
So, Gene, I started my MSP in the 90s. I sold it in 2019. I was in my 20s in the 90s. I was, not taking care of myself physically, working 14, 16-hour days, eating terribly at night. And next thing I know, in front of the doctor, she tells me I'm at 340 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And she says, look, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born. She knew how to get at me a little bit, Gene, and so it scared the hell out of me. I'm driving home, punching the steering wheel. What have I done to myself? I've been an athlete my whole life, and I can abuse myself all I want, but I've got this family now, So I spent the next 6-7 months, lost 120 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can't look at it as a finishing line, right? You got to make lifelong changes with this. So when I tell people this story, they're like, what's your secret? What you do? And Gene, there's no secret. Discipline, right? Focus, routine. How does discipline play a role in your life, Gene? Kim?
I can't say that I'm that disciplined, honestly.
Really?
Well, you joke about it, but yeah, there's a certain amount of discipline. I think that first and foremost, you have to be disciplined to know that there are some things that you just need out of your life, right? And you have to make some hard choices. I similarly went through a weight loss journey.
Did you?
Yeah.
You were overweight?
Well, as far as I was concerned, I was.
see.
Last year in January of 2024, I made the decision just through the inspiration of a very good friend that I met through work, who was in incredible shape. But I give him a little bit of credit in that he's about 10 or 12 years younger than me. So you look at his physique and admiringly, I'm like, how did you get that fit? And I made a point to say, all right, well, I don't want to be like this. I want to be more physically active. I wasn't surfing and I wasn't mountain biking and doing the things that I wanted to do. And then when I did, it wasn't the greatest result, right? I didn't have the greatest time. And so you make the decision. I think first and foremost, to have discipline, you have to make that deliberate choice, right? And then, when you do that, again, since I'm a very metrics-driven person, you start identifying what you should or shouldn't have in your life, what good looks like, what success looks like, and then you map to those goals, right? You basically have a work back plan, right? So if I want to lose X amount of weight, then how much weight do I want to lose on a monthly basis? How many calories am I burning on a daily basis? And so what should I be eating every day, right? And so I think discipline, a part of that comes down to, thinking about things and breaking it down into subcomponents, but always with the goal in mind, right? And also ensuring that there are rewards along the way, because I think that if you just wait for the big hey, I finally made it. It's human nature. I don't think a lot of people can, go that long without having some sort of, rewards. That's why, even for me, there are cheat days for eating, and maybe I don't work out 6 days a week. Maybe I take a couple of days off. So, those things happen.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's funny, you start off by saying you weren't disciplined, but then you named areas where you want to focus on being disciplined.
Well, I'm a contradiction.
Yeah.
You can ask my wife.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. We all lack in that area. We could all be better in certain areas, but where we need to, we are.
Sure.
Yeah, I like to think
It
so.
is a deliberate choice in where you place importance and emphasis in your life. And you got to decide what that is.
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do. So your message to MSPs this week is what?
My message to MSPs would be grow your business and ensure that that your business is safe and the tools that you use are safe. Help yourself by making your security stack that you provide to your customers, that they're operational, they're always going to be available, and if something does go wrong, we'll help you become fully resilient and bring you back into an operating state.
Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypins.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it. So cool. I know I met you last week and I gave you bad directions out
Yes,
there
you
in
did.
Orlando, but hopefully we made up for it now. I think it was great meeting you. Anybody who's watching or listening want to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
They can go to our website, absolute.com/partners. Go to the MSP area and request information. You can always reach me at my email address, gkim@absolute.com, and be happy to respond and talk with you about our partner program and how we can help you grow your business.
Very good. And you're also on LinkedIn.
I am. And
Gene.
it is LinkedIn Gene Kim 5.
Why 5?
5's my favorite number.
Yeah.
Very
good.
It's a
Gene,
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.